Good evening. Getting ready for another wonderful Jazz Vespers service. Barbara Barbara has taken over for me. I was kind of busy this last couple of months, and matter of fact, I probably wasn't going to be here, but I'm here now, and I want to thank Barbara for all the hard work that she's doing. And remember, Barbara brings in all the artists outside, so take some time afterwards and sit down and look at some of the art and talk to the artists when we're finished. So, Barbara?
Welcome. It's nice to have everyone here, and as he said, I'm Yvette tonight. Don't I look like Yvette? Wish I could sing like Yvette. First of all, because of my youth, I need glasses. Today's scripture is from Psalms chapter 47, verses 1 through 7. How can I do this? Clap your hands, all you peoples. Shout to God with loud sounds of joy. For the Lord, the Most High, is terrible, a great king over all the earth. He subdued peoples under us and nations under our feet. He chose our heritage for us, the pride of Jacob, whom he loves. God has gone up with a shout, and the Lord with the sound of a trumpet. Sing praises to God. Sing praises to our King. Sing praises, for God is the King of all the earth. Sing praises with a psalm, and we're going to have some praise being sung tonight. Tonight, I would like to introduce our guest artist, who is Richard Chow, a good friend, another one of the artists from Gallery 825. I plugged this gallery so many times. I'm sure some of you are going to go out there one of these days and see all the work that goes out there. At any rate, Richard will tell you a little bit about his son in a moment, but also we have an added bonus coming tonight. He has a small son that's 9, going on 10, who took after his dad in photography, and the two of them have a father-son show at the Northridge Gallery over in L.A., and hopefully his son will be bringing his portfolio tonight. You could see a little bit of what he does, too. But for now, Richard.
Thank you, Barbara, and the church and everyone here. I'm so happy to be here. And talking about my son, he just got in, so he's waving at you. His name is Caden Chow. So again, thank you all. All right, my name is Richard Chow. I've been taking photography or pictures since I'm like 13 or 14-year-old. So I used to do the photography in the darkroom, which I still love. And then I stopped taking pictures for a while for no reason other than, need to go to college and find a job and things like that. So about 12 years ago, I started doing photography more seriously, meaning starting to show in galleries and things like that. So my photography is fine art photography versus commercial. For example, taking headshots or weddings, which I don't do, but I'm focused in the fine arts area. So I've been showing in galleries for about 10 years or so. And I love doing photography, so that's my sort of passion. You'll see 5 pictures out there that you can take a look afterwards. The color work are the earlier work that I had. Lately, I've been doing black and white work. So I have a couple of portfolios. One is more architecture-based, very fine, very sort of modern, sort of have a pretty geometric aesthetics to it. And the other series I have is more more narrative based, like a story. It's about memories. That particular series was recently shown at the MOA, Museum of Arts and History. That's the one in Lancaster. So that ended maybe last month. Barbara came and saw the exhibit, so thank you, Barbara. So that was a pretty satisfying experience for me. So it was up for about 2.5 months in the museum. So it was really good. And then I've shown in the Neutra Museum Gallery as well. In fact, as Barbara mentioned, my son Caden and I had a father and son show that's happening right now. And the closing reception is next Saturday from 4 to 8 or something like that. So Caden's very excited to be in a gallery show, and I am too. So that's a summary. If you have any questions, feel free to catch me outside. Thank you.
As the band's coming to the stage, I'd like to say Woody Woods. I've known him for more years than I can remember. And we also have another connection. We both have worked for Della Reese, which is a great experience in itself. Don Littleton, he's been here many times with different groups, and I think we will have Don with his group coming in maybe in February. And Bill, I haven't met before, so this is thank you for coming, being a part of our Jazz Vespers family. And Leslie B., she came in when Sandy Graham, who was here, she sang for us, had a wonderful group and for us not too long ago. So, Leslie, you got it. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye.
I'm so glad you're all here. Welcome. This song's to let you all know I need for you all to pray for me. I never loved him. He never reached me. He was just someone I knew. I think about him on alternate Thursdays when I haven't got anything better to do. He's got a problem. If he thinks I need him, I couldn't care less. Now that we're through, I only sit home and wait for his phone call, 'cause I haven't got anything better to do. Oh, wasn't I awfully smart fall and break my heart. And when he kissed me, oh, he never moved me. It wasn't fantastic, thrilling, or new. So if I'm crying, I'm only crying 'cause I haven't got anything better to do. We're gonna have a wonderful solo here. I haven't got anything better to do. Thank you. See why I asked y'all to pray for me? This is that man's birthday today, and I just happen to be here. But you know what? This song is for you because this is my old neighborhood. I went to Northridge University, and I used to live across the street. And so this is really like being home. So I just want to tell you all, I love seeing you, and thank you for being here because there's so much happening. But you're happening with me. Thank you. This song is for you, and you, and you, and you. If they ask me, I could write a book about the way you walk and whisper and look. I could write a preface on how we met, then the world would never forget. But the simple secret to my plot, yeah, is just to tell you all I love you a lot. Then the world will discover how my book ends and how to make two lovers a friend. This will be my shining hour. just for you and me. In my dreams, your face will flower through the darkness of the night, like the lights of home before me. Yeah, I'm an angel, please, watching over me. This will be my shining hour till you're with me. Please stay with me till I'm with you again, again, again. Thank you all. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Please let me introduce my wonderful musicians again. We have Woody Woods on piano. We have Bill Marcus on bass. And we have Don Littleton on drums. And I just want to bless our host for having jazz here in the house today. God bless you. May this all continue. Lover, one lovely day, love came begging to stay. Green Dolphin Street supplied the setting, a setting for love beyond forgetting. Through our moments apart, love, that love hangs here in my heart. When I recall the love I found on, I kiss the ground on Green Dolphin Street. Lover, one lovely day, love, love came begging to stay. Green Dolphin Street supply the setting, a setting for nights beyond forgetting. Through our moments apart, love, love hangs here in my heart. When I recall the love I found on, honey, I'll walk the ground on Green Dolphin Street. Woody Woods. lovely day, yeah. Love came begging to stay. Green Dolphin Street supply the setting, a setting for love beyond forgetting. Through our moments apart, love's here in my heart. When I recall the love I found on, baby, I kiss the ground on Green Dolphin. I walk the grounds on Green Dolphin. Watch me, I'm on Green Dolphin Street. I'm still walking, baby. Green Dolphin Street. Lover. You guys know that Green Dolphin Street is an old Lana Turner movie? It's a period piece. It was about ships like in the 1500s, and of course she was having an affair on Green Dolphin Street. Anyway.
And Sidney Greenstreet
right.
was in the movie.
Yeah. Anyway, it's so good to know that kind of stuff. But this song I'm going to sing right now is a Stephen Sondheim song that I just think is lovely. It's because, you know, I always wanted to whistle. Does anybody in here whistle? Still? Just put your lips together and blow. Remember they said that in the movie? Yeah. Well, I never could whistle really well. I spit a lot. Anyone can spit. That was me. I can spit well. But that's bad. I know. I meant when I was trying to whistle. But anyway, this is a really cute song called Anyone Could Whistle. Anyone can whistle, that's what they say, easy. Anyone can whistle in your day, easy. It's all so simple. Relax, let go and blow. So someone tell me why can I can dance a tango, I can read Greek, easy. I can slay a dragon any old week, easy. What's hard is most, what's natural comes hard. So maybe if you show me how to let go, lower my guard, learn to be free. Anyone can whistle for me. That's Mr. Woody Woods on piano. Anyone Anyone can whistle, that's what they say, easy. Anyone can whistle any old day, easy. It's all so simple. Relax, let go, let fly. So someone tell me why can I can dance a tango, I can breathe easy. I can slay a dragon any old week, easy. What's hard is simple, what's natural comes hard. So maybe if you show me how to let go, lower my guard, learn to be free. Maybe if you whistle, 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 whistle for me. Honey, I was trying to whistle, got something caught in my throat. You all know how that goes. That's what whistling does. I don't want to put my fingers in my mouth because I don't know where they've been. But anyone can whistle. It takes practice, especially when you have wonderful musicians like this with you. Yeah, I'm still trying. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, this next tune that we're going to do, I want you to know that I searched for this tune because I heard it as a little girl in the beauty shop in Pacoima, which is Pacoima. And you know how long it took me to get my hair pressed out, but I heard this song and I could not get it out of my head. So I just want you guys to know I'm really, really young. And it was an Abby Lincoln Max wrote, so I was really young. And I heard this song and I never forgot it. I want you to know, I wasn't sure if this song, in my head, I thought this song was saying, let's go back to Africa. It's a song about going back to Africa. And now that I've grown up, we sing all the time about going back with a man or going back with a woman. That could be what the song is about, or it could be going to the Lord, getting back in church. It could be, but I think it's going back with a man. I think that's what the tune is about. And here we go now. John Littleton. Yes. Take me there. Yes. The rhythms of home sometimes make you lost, but we find our way. I want you to listen to them just for a moment. Your love, hear me pleading. My love, heart is bleeding. Take me back where I belong. I know folks are saying from you I keep straying, but still I keep praying. Take me back where I belong. Poor lonesome me, why can't you see? Let bygones be. Take me back where I belong. Don't be hesitating too long. I keep waiting, but still I keep praying. Take me back where I belong. Take me back. Don't be hesitating too long. I've been waiting. Love, I'm agitating. Take me back, take me back, take me back where I belong. Take me back, take me back, take me back. Home. The next tune we're going to do, I know we're getting close. The next tune I'm doing was my story when I was young, because I was a little fast, but I was very good. But I was a little fast, but I was a good girl. So, you know, when you're a little fast and you're a good girl, people assume certain things, right? But I was very good. You see, it sounds a lot different than the way I was trying to start. Everyone in town knew all about her. Neighbors used to watch her with a frown. They would point her out and tell you things about the wildest gal in town, because she was the light of every party, wore the cutest hats, the smartest gown. It was understood she'd never be much good. She was the wildest gal in town. Maybe she danced a little too much. Was that so terribly wrong? Might have romance a little too much, while she waited for the right man to come along. children. There she is, that's little Sally Brown. When you hear her name, please tell them what became of the wildest gal in town. Maybe she danced a little too much. Was that so terribly wrong? Might have romance a little too much. While she waited for that guy, you all know how that is. But see, look at that woman with those children, yeah. That's her, that fast little girl. That's a Sally Brown. When you hear her name, I want you all to tell your friends she was the wildest. She was the baddest. She was the cutest. She was the party girl. You know what I'm talking about. She was the wildest gal in town. See that girl? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I want you guys to know that it's been a treat. I got some big feet. I know this is it. Stretch shirt. If this is it. Oh, thank you. You know, I never got that girl. I said that. To stretch short, it's, no. You guys, all of you, I know a lot of you want to take me home. So, I want you to know today I'm on sale. I'll be out in the lobby, sitting on a shelf just for you. And if you really like me, I tell you what, $10 will do. This song that I'm singing for you, this is it. This is the song I love to sing for the mothers and the fathers because a lot of us have had children and we give them everything. But you guys know Billie Holiday wrote the song and she loaned her mother some money, and when she needed some money, her mother said no. But sometimes we need to be doing that kind of stuff, you know that? Sometimes they call it tough love. Thank you guys. Thank these wonderful musicians. This is it. John Littleton, Bill Markins, Woody Woods. I'm Leslie B. It's been a pleasure. Thank you guys so much. Thank you all for coming. I love you, those of you that traveled, and the ones that gave away their tickets to the Playboy Jazz Festival to be here. Thank you. Okay. Them that's got shall get, them that's not shall lose. Though the Bible says, and it still rings true, Mama may have, Papa he ought to have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. That's right. Well, the strong get more while the weak ones pay. Empty pockets don't never, ever make the grade. No, Mama may have, and honey, Papa, he ought to have. But God bless the child that's got his own. Yeah, yeah, I'm working on all that. That's got his own. Money, you got all kinds of friends knocking on your door. When the money's gone, you spent every cent. Yeah, they don't come around no more. Rich relations give crust of bread and such. You can help yourself, but please don't take too much, 'cause Mama may have, Papa he ought to have, but God bless the child that's got his own. Hey, got their own. Blues always ends it well, y'all. Woody Woods. Coming back in on the bridge. Yeah. Money, you got all kinds of friends. Knocking, kicking, banging, knocking, want to be at your door. Yeah. When your money's gone, you spent every cent. They won't come around, they don't call, they won't buzz, you don't hear them no more. Rich relations give crust of bread and such. You can help yourself, child that's got his own. His or hers, it makes no difference. God bless the child that's got his own. Mom and Daddy, enjoy your retirement. God bless the child. I got two, and they got their own. Oh, yes. God bless you for having us here today. We're still working at it, baby. God, Thank you. Thank you all so very much. Thank you. Woody Woods on piano. Bill Marcus on bass. Don Littleton. Leslie B. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. CDs in the lobby.
Wow. Having to follow that's tough. We just want to thank you so much, Leslie, Woody, Don, and Bill, for this wonderful music. And also, ought to mention that Leslie not only sings, but she is a visual artist as well. And if you come back in August, she's going to be our guest visual artist. I also want to thank a whole bunch of folks at the end of this homily. But before I do that, let me get into why I picked that scripture, because it's about gifts, about celebration and celebrating your gifts. Now, every one of you have gifts. We don't always use them, but we're all given gifts. And there are all kinds of gifts, and maybe you didn't realize how talented you may be. There are gifts of home, such as cooking, sewing, gardening, child rearing, crocheting, knitting, weaving, quilt making, amongst many others. Some people have gifts of organization, leadership, or teaching. All these are things that we can do with our lives that enriches life for us all. There are, as we've had today, gifts of performance. You have singing, playing instruments, dancing, acting, image makers such as Richard Chow, and people who paint or draw, sculpt. All these are gifts, things that God has given everybody to develop, to use, and we don't all have the same gifts. That makes it kind of interesting, so we need to share what we can do with each other. There's also the gifts of writing, such as plays, poetry, novels, journalism. Richard Chow shared with us how he sees the world in a unique way. When you look at buildings, do you see what he saw? We see, but we don't. He kind of brought your attention to maybe the corners and the angles that come in a building that perhaps when you look at it now, you'll think of what Richard showed you and say, wow, I appreciate that much more than I did before. There was a family a long time ago called the Singing Family of the Cumberlands. They lived in Cumberland Gap, which is a part of the Appalachian Mountains in eastern Kentucky. And they had 14 children there. And the last one that was born in 1922 was Jean Ritchie, whom some of you, if you follow folk music, may have heard. She was a folk singer and played her dulcimer, and she had many recordings. This family led lives of hard work, and all the kids and everybody pitched in. And they were descendants of immigrants from Scotland, Ireland, Wales, and England. To make their work easier, they sang all the time. They sang day and night. And they had songs about everything. And they brought a lot of these songs, their ancestors brought these songs from the British Isles, and they passed them on down to their kids. When the day was done, they looked forward to times when maybe somebody would stop by and they would tell stories and sing some more songs. And people would come to hear those old melodies. Now, and by the way, in case you don't know, I have a book about the family. I think it's out of print, but you could possibly still find it. And it's very interesting to see how a life of work and singing and playing musical instruments became careers. And that's what I'm saying. Perhaps some of you may want to develop latent talents that you have. But today what I wanted to share with you were some of the gifts of writing. And I have some favorite poets that kind of talk about ways of using our gifts, how we can see the world, and see if you can find some of your own thoughts through these metaphors. First one I have is by Walt Whitman from his Leaves of Grass book, which, by the way, he published himself many years ago, and it went nowhere, hardly sold anything. It was many, many, many years later that he was recognized for it. So if you put some of your work out there, don't give up. Might come along that'll get popular later on. This first one is called That Music Always Round Me. That music always round me, unceasing, unbeginning, yet long untaught, I did not hear. But now the chorus I hear, and am elated. A tenor, strong, ascending with power and health, with glad notes of daybreak I hear. A soprano at intervals, sailing buoyantly over the tops of immense waves, a transparent bass shuddering lusciously under and through the universe. The triumphant tutti, the funeral wailings with sweet flutes and violins. All these I fill myself with. I hear not the volumes of sound merely. I am moved by the exquisite meanings. I listen to the different voices, winding in and out, striving, contending with fiery vehemence to excel each other in emotion. I do not think the performers know themselves, but now I think I begin to know them. He was also able to, with words, create pictures that would help us to see the world around us. And remember, most poets write, and this one in particular, with metaphors. So something stands for more than one thing, not just the subject. This is from excerpts from Song at Sunset. Splendor of ended day, floating and filling me, hour prophetic, hour resuming the past, inflating my throat, you divine average, you earth and life till the last ray gleams, I sing. Open mouth of my soul, uttering gladness, eyes of my soul, seeing perfection, natural life of me, faithfully praising things, corroborating forever the triumph of things. Oh, wonderful to be here. The heart, to jet the all alike and innocent blood, to breathe the air, how delicious. To speak, to walk, to seize something by the hand, to prepare for sleep, for bed, to look on my rose-colored flesh, to be this incredible God I am. To have gone forth among other gods, these men and women I love. Wonderful how I celebrate you and myself. How my thoughts play subtly at the spectacles around, how the clouds pass silently overhead, how the earth darts on, and how the sun, moon, stars dart on, how the water sports and sings. Surely it's alive. How the trees rise and stand up with strong trunks, with branches and leaves. Surely there is something more in each of the trees, some living soul. Oh, amazement of things, even the least particle. Oh, spirituality of things. Oh, strain musical, flowing through ages and continents, now reaching me and America. I take your strong chords, I intersperse them and cheerfully pass them forward. I sing the equalities, modern or old. I sing the endless finales of things. I say nature continues, glory continues. I praise with electric voice, for I do not see one imperfection in the universe, and I do not see one cause or result lamentable at last in the universe. O setting sun, though the time has come, I still warble under you, if none else does, unmitigated adoration. Then some have the gift of words to make you smile, like Maya Angelou's poem, Impeccable Conception. I met a lady poet who took for inspiration colored birds and whispered words, a lover's hesitation. A falling leaf could stir her, a wilting dying rose would make her write both day and night the most rewarding prose. She'd find a hidden meaning in every pair of pants, then hurry home to be alone and write about romance. Now, I have a couple poems that I want my husband to read, and to say that my husband was another kind of gift. He was a gift of love. My husband, Wes, went to visit his mother as she lay dying, and Wes had just gotten out of the hospital himself. His mother, a voracious reader and a lover of poetry, could no longer focus her eyes to read. So she asked her son to please read some of her favorite poetry to her. She even told him where to find the book on the shelf at home. She had always remembered where she placed it. This is what he read.
Excuse me. I might comment beforehand that Walt Whitman, particularly in this, what Barbara was reading there, did speak in metaphors, and he is talking in that sense about the gift that all people can bring. You know, when he's talking about the singers, he's really saying everybody brings something to make civilization grow, to make the world go forward. So each of us have gifts to contribute. And I like to think of Maya Angelou's poem as commenting on inspiration for things that we might give as gifts and do. However, my mother is one of my mother's favorite poets, and I might say that her gift to me was introducing me to poetry and theater and classical and jazz music. She worked during the WPA, the Writers' Project, and brought that with her. Anyway, she enjoyed Conrad Aiken, and so I thought I would read just one small section of one poem from Conrad Aiken. It is morning, Senlet says. And in the morning, when the light drips through the shutters like dew, I arise, I face the sunrise, and I do the things my fathers learned to do. Stars in the purple dusk above the rooftops pale in the saffron mist and seem to die, and I myself, on a swiftly tilting planet, stand before my glass and tie my tie. Vine leaves tap at my window, dewdrops sing to the garden stones, the robin chirps in the chinaberry tree, repeating 3 clear tones. It's from the Divine Pilgrim. In the spirit of gifts and music and what have you, we ran across this poem by James Weldon Johnson. Now, James Weldon Johnson actually was quite a Renaissance man, although, 1871 to 1938. He served as an ambassador appointed by Teddy Roosevelt. He led the NAACP. He was part of the Harlem Renaissance, and my favorite poem of his, although it's hardly ever quoted as such, is The Creation. God stepped out on space, and he looked around, and he said, "I'm lonely, I'll make a world." And as far as the eye could see, darkness covered everything, blacker than 100 midnights out in a cypress swamp. Well, it goes on, but along the lines of what we are about to hear, A Gift to Sing by James Weldon Johnson. And I think it bespeaks of his essential optimism. Sometimes the mist overhangs my path and blackening clouds about me cling. But oh, I have a magic way to turn the gloom to cheerful day. I softly sing. And if the way grows darker still, shadowed by sorrow's somber wing, with glad defiance in my throat, I pierce the darkness with a note and sing and sing. I brood not over broken past, nor dread whatever time may bring. No nights are dark, no days are long, while in my heart there swells a song, and I can sing. I want to again thank the musicians. Recall that Leslie has CDs.
I want to thank everyone, and then I'll close with a poem, which is, to me, a prayer. The people that we have to thank are so numerous, I had to put them down to make sure I didn't forget somebody. Of course, the wonderful musicians, Leslie, Woody, Don, Bill, and our sound crew, Dusty and Adrienne, and Joan Costin for her setup, Lanny Hartley for finding all these wonderful musicians. And welcome back, Lanny. We missed you while you were gone. He was busy with a gig at in Beverly Hills at the Wallace. I'm trying to think. He did Blues in the Night, which we went to hear, and it was marvelous. And welcome back, Yvette. She was at a gig today, too. So they're busy people. And I thank Richard Chow and Caden, his son, whom you will get to meet outside. And remind you that the coming guest visual artist in August will be Leslie B. We will have another one in July. Beth Schwartz will be coming. So lots of folks it takes to put this on. And I hope I didn't miss anybody. I'm going to close with a poem by Maya Angelou, one of my favorite poets. And I'm sure you're familiar with it. Still I Rise. This is about self-respect and confidence, how she overcame anything with self-esteem. Nothing could get her down. Words for us all. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room? Just like moons and like suns with a century of tides, just like hope springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops weakened by my soulful cries. Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling I bear in the tide, leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that wondrously dear, I rise. bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. So if you all stand up, we'll say together the blessing that's found in the middle of your program on the first page. May the Lord watch between you and me when we are absent one from the other. Amen. Sorry, I forgot the most important. Yes, we don't operate on air, so contributions gratefully accepted.